So welcome back to another in the series here of my built models. If you watched the first video, you would have seen a bit of an intro, but I'm going to throw this intro onto every video so you guys know what you're looking at. And basically, I'm going to be going over most of these models behind me. I completed before I had the YouTube channel started, so I'm going to be going through these bit by bit, quick little 5-minute videos, so you guys can take a look at the videos I've built. I'll talk about the model, some of the issues I had building it, how I liked or did not like that kit, and then some of the aftermarket, if there is any type of resin or aftermarket decals I used on the kit. And then at the very end, I'll throw up some pictures of the completed model so you guys can get a good view of what all these look like and what I went into, because there has been some interest. I've heard from you guys that you do want to see some more of these, and not all of them are going to have full up build logs. So you know, I can't do product reviews, I can't do anything on these ones that are built, so those are going to be included in these videos. So any of this series in this playlist, that's what it's going to be. So please don't come in here thinking you're going to get a full build log. So yeah, stay tuned. I will eventually have all of these videos done, and I'll have them all released. So stay tuned. And as always, my name is Sean, and this is Sean's Aviation. And just before we get into the video, something I should have been doing a lot more up till now, and that is just asking you guys out there, if you enjoy what you're looking at, if you like what I'm doing, go down below, click on the like page, subscribe to my channel, and by all means, please click on that little notification bell. If that way you guys get alerted when I do get more new content up. I usually try to do the what's on my desk monthly update beginning of the month. And I usually try to get a video or a series of videos released by the 15th, the middle of the month. So whether that's going to be a tips and tricks video, or an aviation history video, or my time-lapse videos of the previous model builds that I've got done, or an air show video, or some of my new product review videos I'll be doing. So I'm going to try to get something posted by the middle of the month. So please, if you're enjoying this, subscribe, like, and click that notification bell. Let's move on to the video. So here we are, back to another built models video. This is going to be the 5th of the 6 P-51s that I have built. So this is the Tamiya P-51D, the 148 scale version. And in this case, I did it up as the Vintage Wings of Canada Mustang that they fly. So some things I did a little differently on this than most. The cockpit, I did not add the radio in behind the cockpit. It's a little hard to see. I'll zoom in just a touch here so you can see in there. So in behind the cockpit, there's normally the radio deck with all the radios. I did not include that on this kit, as the real one does not have the radios back there. It was an open hole. They have since added a second seat. They have since added a second seat back there. I built this before that second seat was added, so it is not in place. The camo is a little more feathered than it should be. I did do this freehand, not masked, so the feathered edges are just slightly more feathered than they are in real life. Other than that, it is done very, very close to how the original has been painted. For decals, I used CanMilAir. Bill Burns out of the London, Ontario area. Unfortunately, he no longer does decals. I'm sure I've mentioned this before with the Spitfire I did, if you've seen it. If not, I'll put a link up top here. The Spitfire I did up the Mark 16 as the Vintage Wing Spitfire, I used his decals as well. Used his decals on a number of builds. It's an Alps printer, so it's like a wax-based ink. And it allows you to print the white that most other color inkjets don't let you print. And it gives it a decent color. It does have a few issues. You can kind of see there are some spots here, for example, on the, I'll zoom in again so you can see what I'm pointing at. On the tail band, there are a few spots. I think, to tell you the truth, I don't know if that's an issue with the printer or if that's an air bubble I have trapped underneath. But the way that the printer works, there are times, especially for example, with this flag, I'm not sure if you can make it out, in the blue you can see there's some lines and striations, and inside the light blue here, just the way that it prints the color in order to get the color density, because you don't have the same, because it's a waxed based ink, you don't have the ability to blend the colors very well. So when you want a lighter color blue, they just put lines of the darker blue, and then with the white background it comes out looking lighter. So it's not a perfect system. It never was a perfect system. But for, you know, from a distance, from the 3 foot that I usually place my models, you know, if I place it like that and I zoom out and you kind of look at it like that and you look at it like that, it serves the part and it looks good. You don't want to get, if you get up too close, it kind of destroys the illusion. But for what I wanted, it worked out quite nicely. So this is actually the second one of these I built. I built the first one for one of the pilots who flew this back in the day, Tim Leslie. So I built that as a display for him, and was in contact with him recently. He still has it on his desk. So this is the second one I built for myself. I had planned initially to build the entire collection, and I started getting Bill to do up my custom decals for a bunch of the different aircraft, and then you know, things kind of petered out and faded away, and I never got around to it. So I got the Spitfire and the Mustang done. I have decals for the Hawker Hurricane. Unfortunately, that Hawker Hurricane Mark IV sold. It took me a while to get enough parts to build a Mark IV, and in the meantime, before I got around to building it, it was sold. So I'm probably not going to do that one up. Who knows? Maybe I will. We'll see what I do with that in the long run. But anyways, I did not end up doing the Hurricane. I believe I got decals for the Harvard, and since I've bought the decals, the Harvard has changed markings. So I have the old markings, not the current markings. So things like that happened, and I didn't get around to building the entire fleet. I probably won't anymore. It's just being able to get the decals are not easy, and as I said, as the fleet changes and things come and go, it's just not easy to keep up with it. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. But yeah. So it does look good on the shelf. It's you know, it could be the modern one, or it could be the vintage one. I mean, it does have the current registration under the tail, so it does match the modern flying version. But it could always just as easily be the you know, the World War II version sitting on the shelf. So it's a nice addition, and it's something, you know, that I've had connections with, and I'm kind of happy to have a model of it. So there we go. That is the 148th Tamiya P-51D in Vintage Wings of Canada scheme.
Thank you for watching, guys, and as always, if you are interested in any of the content you see, you can access my website at www.seans-aviation.com. You can see all the latest pictures of aircraft and museums and the build logs of all of my current models and past models on that site. And if you're interested in any of this content, please click the subscribe button here on YouTube to follow more. Thank you very much, and see you guys next time.